Back, everyone. Joe and Mike here from buildassetsonline.com. It's been quite a while. We took a little break from the streaming, holidays for the past month and everything like that. Took all of January off from streaming, but we're back now and we're coming at you with 10 essential steps / tips for how to become a millionaire with dropshipping. And if you think it's a clickbaity title, it shouldn't be, because these are actual key steps that are going to get you there. And it's kind of funny, Mike. I always watch those CNBC like mini documentaries that they do for YouTube. They do them on all sorts of different topics, but the one last night, I actually didn't watch it because I had to turn it off. But the one last night was about dropshipping. I was disgusted. It was just like, it was just such typical, they were just covering everything that's so typical of like what everyone thinks about it. So I was just like, I know what they're getting at here. So
they should have interviewed Bezos.
They should have, because he's dropshipping, but he's stepping down though. So who knows what he's doing?
He's stepping into the shadows, like we're gonna do soon. We've been in the shadows for the last month, just taking care of the elite fleet. Haven't focused too much on the YouTube content, but we may be getting back at it.
We're definitely going to get back at it. Just move the mic a little closer to you if you can. I don't know why you're so low. We're dealing with the new setup here. This is why. This is why we haven't been streaming. No, I'm just kidding. But all right. Anyway, let's get right into it, I guess. So, 10 steps to becoming a millionaire with dropshipping. Now, it's important to understand what we mean when we say this, because when a lot of people say, I did $1 million in sales dropshipping, and a matter of fact, that CNBC documentary last night had someone, I think it was like Ecom King or something, and I don't really know much about him personally, but he basically says that it was basically showing like from his home, he did 1.7 million in sales. And the fact is that 1.7 million in sales doesn't really mean anything. Like when you're talking about revenue in this type of business, it really is meaningless. Like we're not doing a corporate evaluation where we're talking about top line revenue versus bottom line thing. Like for you at home, 1.7 million in revenue means nothing. What you really need is you need your store to make $30,000 profit per month. And this could be split over multiple stores. And then if you do that consistently, your store will have a valuation of around $1 million, and then you can sell it, and then you've become a millionaire from dropshipping.
It's that simple. And it's funny that the Ecom King was on there, Joe. Do you recall that he, I think he was one of the people that flamed us when we went on that Spencer Cornelius interview.
He did something in a nice way. Like he wasn't like aggressive about it. He's just like, there's more than one way to do what they're talking about.
Yeah,
but
look at him. He's on CNBC and we're not. And I hope my mic is coming through a little bit better.
Yeah, it's a little low, but hopefully no one complains.
Sure. Hopefully we'll take that to the editing room later and we'll get this fixed. But yeah, so 30,000 a month equals $1 million valuation, and that's just in terms of a cash out, Joe. In order to become a millionaire with dropshipping, I mean, you can make $1 million profit before you ever cash out your store for the $1 million, correct?
Of course, but this is just the most straightforward, I think, way to think about it. I think it gives you a target to hit. But you're right. When you sell your store for $1 million, you will have all of that profit that you made, unless, of course, you've invested it into different things like buying land or something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, at that point, you've already kind of cracked the code to the game, and now you're just working with moving assets and trying to, get more returns on your money, which is kind of where we're at now, Joe.
Yeah. So let's get right into the tips, because we've covered this whole the numbers thing multiple times, and so let's just go right into the tips. So tip number 1 is you have to be ready to be in it for a long haul. Be in it for the long haul. So the store that we recently got a valuation of it. I think we got offered, we were only going to do a 50% deal, but it was around 1.6 million, I think. That was that was the offer that we got. We didn't actually take it, but that store has been around for a couple years. So that's something to think
And I
about.
mean, in internet time, a couple years is the long haul, but you got to think about like an ordinary business. A couple years is literally nothing. And Joe, I feel like after doing this for 5 years, we're finally starting to really hit our stride in terms of understanding exactly what's going on and you know being able to do things at a really really impactful level. In the beginning, we were doing stuff, and first of all, we were going in blind. We didn't have anybody to teach us the way that we teach other people, and our students are already having so much more success in their first year than we could have ever done. But the first year, you kind of figure out, okay, I can make sales. This is real. You got to get over that hump, and then you go into, all right, how do I replicate exactly what's going on? And then you get over that, and then you say, okay, I'm replicating it. Now, how do I do this on an even grander scale? And now we're just really at the point where we're attacking from all angles. So there's that Tony Robbins quote, or I don't know if he got it from someone, but what is it, Joe? People overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in 10.
Yes, yes, I like that one. That's no, well, I think it's 5. Like they overestimate what they could do in a year, underestimate what they could do in 5 years, and that is one I do like because I think that's very true.
Yeah, and I mean, it's certainly true for us. Like in the beginning, I just wanted something to quit my job, right? Like it almost seems daunting to talk about doing things in terms of having a million businesses and having a whole portfolio, but in 5 years, we got to that point. And yeah, I mean, it really is true how much you underestimate how much can happen in 5 years. We've sold 3 stores, created 5, 10 stores, otherwise have partnerships, have so many different things, and it's just a part of the journey if you just keep consistent with it.
Absolutely. So, second tip is focus on building a retail brand that your customers search by name. And this is really the ultimate goal of what you're doing when you're doing dropshipping the way that we teach it. It's not about the hottest trend and the best selling product, or sorry, like the newest, hottest product that's going to, be a huge hit, but it's really about developing your website as a retail brand that when someone is searching for the widgets that you're selling, they're typing into Google your store name and then the product that they want.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about Macy's, we talk about Wayfair, Nordstrom's. None of these places necessarily have their own brands. Maybe Wayfair might, but you know all of those retail store names despite their products. They're just retailers, and so we're online retailers. There's nothing wrong with that. And yeah, I mean, especially with some of our older stores, we're really seeing this be such a huge driver of just incoming sales because of the way that we structure our ads, but also repeat customers because we've been around for years and we're getting so many actual organic reviews, and it just it does snowball around this and it creates a lot of authority.
Yeah. So when someone wants to buy like a Vitamix or something, they might search like Vitamix Macy's. You know what I'm saying? Just because
Exactly.
they know Macy's is a retailer of Vitamix, for example, or like Costco might be a better one. Costco definitely. Well, actually, I was gonna say Costco doesn't have its own products, but they definitely do with the Kirkland. But anyway,
Yeah.
moving on. Take on supplier acquisition as an ongoing task. This is the third tip, and this is very, very important. And we're still contacting suppliers to this day. It's not at the volume that we were in the beginning, but now we're very selective about it. And when we teach people our process, sometimes they take our process too literally in the beginning. But right now, once you get to a certain point, then it's time to be selective and go after those suppliers that are very exclusive and maybe don't even sell to or don't even normally work with e-commerce only websites. But when enough time has passed, you can convince them
Yeah, and number two plays into number three. If you can go to a supplier and prove that you're an actual authority in, your industry, then they really have no choice but to kind of break their typical terms, because a lot of suppliers just have drop shippers hitting them up constantly. And so, yeah, when you create authority, you're not just creating sales for yourself on the front end, you're also building authority to get better suppliers that are going to make you sales in an entirely different way.
Yeah, and think about it like this. Think about Jeff Bezos, like in his garage. Like, I bet if he were to call up someone when he was just starting Amazon, like in his garage, he'd be like, "Hey, it's Jeff here. Yeah, I'd really like to work with you." They would just be like, "All right, whatever, Jeff." Like, I don't. Maybe they'd work with him, maybe they wouldn't. But if you got a call from Jeff Bezos today, I don't know how you'd react, but you would definitely be taken aback a little, and you would consider the opportunity. But you get what you see where I'm going with that, is that over time, as you become more of an authority, you command more power in these types of situations.
Yeah, and let me just say one last thing about this, because I think sometimes people also take this too literally, in that they just want to contact like 100 suppliers a month, and doing that is not really sustainable from a traffic point of view, because you need to spend time taking those suppliers you've acquired and actually focus on optimizing the ads for them, which can take weeks, months, even years of focus. So especially if you're a one man show, it could it should really be kind of an ebb and flow of getting suppliers, getting them uploaded, getting them into your account, then really running the ads, putting a lot of time into making sure those suppliers get enough attention in your ad account to see what they're really worth, and then you kind of move on. So
So, Mike,
sometimes,
let me ask you this: in the store that I just mentioned before, the one that we recently got the offer that we declined, you said
yeah,
growing your ad account over years. Now, on this store, um, a lot of the times we sell a lot of the same things. So, has that are you still making optimizations to those same things that we're selling?
yeah, absolutely. And we had a big talk about this in the office hours last month, where we were going deep on the text ads, and I made the point that you can really do text ads, and you can continue creating and optimizing text ads indefinitely. Because think about, if you have a product, say you have a black sectional sofa, right? There's there's essentially a huge pool of keywords that this product will convert for, um, in the grand scheme of all the keywords that are in the world, and a certain subsection will be profitable if you drive ads for those keywords to your product page, right? So you can it's essentially a long process of searching for all those keywords and figuring out what the appropriate bid is, and then you kind of can go off from there, find variants of those keywords, and then make ads for those. So you see where I'm going with this, and it applies not just for individual products, but it can also apply for like collections of products, right? So that's what I mean by the fact that the optimization is never done. But even in shopping ads too, um, shopping ads are harder to describe with precision, because of it's kind of like Google is automatically showing you for stuff. But yeah, I mean, 100% you got to keep going in and continue to refine and continue to refine, because there's you're working with thousands of products, so it can't be done in a month or two.
Cool. So number 4 is to verify with ads the stuff that sells. Now, we're talking about Google ads here, search engine ads. And what we find is that people, like you were saying, like they don't give their ads enough time. And if they find that something is not selling right away, they're always looking for other means to do it when it's not necessarily that time. Like, for example, like people always want to, and we talked about this when we first started. We were making sales with Google Ads, but not that many, so we weren't sure what to do. And one of the people that we hired to coach us told us to go into Facebook groups and try and like advertise our stuff there, like in the group, like manually posting it. But you really need to stick to verifying with ads the stuff that sells, and then once you narrow that down, then it's time to ramp up with other avenues of traffic.
Yeah, because paid advertising is always going to be the fastest way to figure out your exact niche in terms of the audience. Even if you're doing some stuff on Facebook, you do Facebook advertising. That way, you know the exact audience that responds to you. You do Google advertising to understand the exact keywords people are responding to, and then yeah, you can go from there with search engine optimization. You can go and make changes in your product page to serve these people more, because now you know exactly why they're coming onto that product page, especially when you get into like generic keywords and stuff. So yeah, it's all about verifying with ads. That's going to be the fastest way, and continue from there.
Yeah, serving them more is a key thing, and something you should always be thinking about. And really what it comes down to is just they're there to buy something, obviously, because they searched out whatever you're selling. But how do you help them make that final decision? That's what it comes down to. And there's multiple ways to do that, and probably a lot of ways that we don't even use, just because I don't know if it's laziness or it's just, we have what we're doing and we can just do that more, so we stick to that. But it's going to be kind of like niche and situation dependent, I would say, on how to do that. So number 5 is to create a vortex of content-based traffic with SEO or other means if appropriate. So this kind of plays into step 4, is that when you verify that your ads are going well, it's time to bring in more traffic from SEO, from maybe social media, from whatever. And that way you're capturing people at all stages of the buying process, whether they're just searching for information, maybe you're selling like a hang glider and they're starting to read about like how to hang glide, or like, how to start hang gliding, like easiest ways to do it. Now that's not someone that's a warm customer ready to buy, but that's someone who maybe is going to buy in 6 months down the line. And if you pull them in early with that content, you're creating what you referred to the other day as a vortex of content-based traffic, that they're going to just shop with you because you've gotten in front of them and you've kind of held their hand through every stage of the buying journey.
Yeah, exactly. And not to mention, you're going to get that pixel on them. So when it is time for them to go and search for that hang glider, then you already have a leg up above everyone else because they're a part of your retargeting list, and now you can bid more for that customer. And you have more data on exactly what type of search from that customer is going to result in purchase.
Yeah. Interesting things. I don't want to get too far off on a tangent, but interesting things going on with like privacy laws and retargeting and stuff like that. It's I feel like if someone lands on your website, like you should be able to retarget them. I think that's like a pretty fair thing, but yeah, like I feel like the privacy stuff that is kind of in question goes far beyond that. So hopefully this stuff, hopefully the retargeting is, I don't know what it's going to look like in 5 to 10 years, but it's not like it's going to matter. I don't know why I'm getting off on a tangent. Something I thought about.
Yeah, I don't know. People are going to be in their Oculus virtual reality, and they're going to be able to walk into our store because they have a pixel.
Maybe you will have to create like a virtual store for like 3D shopping.
Yeah, and then you got to hire a manager, a janitor, virtual aisles.
That would be crazy. Okay, so number 6, build a team for everything in the day-to-day, even if it costs you money up front. This was a huge hesitation that we had when we first started because, a team can add up to be kind of expensive, but once your time gets freed up, that's the only way you're going to get to that. You need to free your time up to get to that 30,000 per month / $1 million mark. There's just no other way.
Yeah, and I mean it's so surprising how much more you can get done once you are able to free yourself from like all these tasks. And I mean we still struggle with it because the more we free ourselves, the more we wind up doing other stuff, and then now we're creating more things that we need to get out of. And yeah, I mean it's a constant battle for us. Maybe we need like some sort of overarching manager or something. But yeah, I mean we go into anything we do now are already thinking about how we're going to build a team around it, because we know no matter what it is, we can't be involved in the day-to-day of it, to a certain degree, just because it's 90% of the tasks you're going to do are outsourceable.
Right. And I actually, on that topic, I want to actually bring up tip number 10, which I was saving for number 10, because number 10 is don't deviate from what's working for you, only make tweaks. And you had mentioned how when you build a team, it becomes very easy to start new things, and that can cause you to deviate from what's working. And we're definitely very, very guilty of that. And then so yeah, we end up in situations where we realize, oh my God, we need to stop doing this. But so it's a fine balance, because sometimes you need to start new things and like let things sit for a while, because like something like you said, sometimes it takes a year of doing the ads, doing the SEO, and then like in a year's time you might not do much, but things can change, and then you might go back to that and put more focus on it if things change for the better. So it's good to start new things, but just always keep track of like what you're doing and what needs to be revisited. And then when it's time to clear things out, don't be afraid to clear them out as well, and start saying no to things.
Yeah, I mean, you can always outsource stuff and then not go and do new things, but instead focus on what else you can be doing within that sphere. So, like, for example, if you're just a one-man show and you have a store and it's doing well, I mean, in my opinion, you can outsource everything so that your day just consists of checking the ads and, researching suppliers. And that can just kind of be the point where that's your work week now. So.
Oh, you sound so much better really, now when you move in like that.
That's why I like the book Work Less, Make More by James Schramko, because he really is someone who basically said, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to get it done in like the most effective way possible, so that my work week is just X amount of hours a week, whether it's 4 hours or 8 hours or 10, and that's it. You can just sit back and enjoy. And I think, everyone has a revenue number, or rather a profit number in mind, that once they're making that much money a month, they can kind of relax. And so you need to think about what that is for you, and just really set boundaries so that once you're getting to that point, you can enjoy your life.
Yeah. But it depends on what you want to do, I guess. I mean, some people do want to be the next Jeff Bezos, so it comes down to,
of course,
setting yourself up for that next thing.
It just comes down to actually knowing where you want to go. That way you can outsource your way there. Yeah, if you want to be the next Jeff Bezos, then maybe it's not effective for you to be doing your own ads, because you don't care about the ads on one store necessarily. You don't care about making that extra $5,000 a month. You're willing to sacrifice some quality for the kind of the greater good of your time. And we were talking about this with Braden, about how he will still answer sales calls sometimes. And I say to him, I said on the podcast, like, yeah, you probably make more sales doing that, but it takes up so much more of your time because you're answering all the BS calls as well. So for me, I would rather sacrifice just whatever percentage it is to get 100% of my time back.
Yeah. So
that's what you need to consider.
Going a little bit.
Again, if you're sorry, last point. if you're that type of person where you're comfortable having one store and your day can just consist of answering the sales calls, you make a few $1,000, you look at your ads account, you have an assistant to handle everything else from there, then that can be your routine, and that's perfectly fine. You just need to decide where that line is.
Yeah, yeah. So moving a little bit out of order here, that was that was tip 10 because I thought it was related to 6. But now tip number 7: be prepared for growing pains and also be prepared to solve these problems. So this is something that we're actually experiencing right now, and yeah. So for example, right now we're running into an issue where we kind of started to notice that one of our suppliers, like, we're not quite up to date with refunds on them, just because with the pandemic and everything, a lot of things happened and there was a lot of sales and a lot of back orders and a lot of refunds. And so we realized, oh my god, this is going to require like a lot of extra accounting to like make sure that everything's in order and that we're even with them and that we've gotten all the refunds that we're due and stuff. And we actually talked about this with Braden on the last podcast. But this is something that if you go and listen to that one, we've actually implemented exactly what we were talking about with Braden. And Braden was nice enough to share his template with us. So that was nice of him. But yeah, you're going to run into all sorts of like weird things that you might not expect to go wrong. And you just need to be ready to solve this kind of stuff and be patient with it.
Yeah. Not to cite another book, but if you read the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone, it talks about how, you want to be able to take enough action that you're creating new problems for yourself. Where in the beginning, your problem is that you're making no sales. You need to do whatever it takes. That the problem is you're making so many sales, you can't figure out where all like the refunds or the charges, and you got to deal with that now. And again, as you're moving through different levels of your business, there's always going to be hurdles that arise. There's always going to be problems. And that's part of why we do the Elite Fleet, because it's not just about having the course, and that it lays out, okay, you build the store, you do this, you do that, you do that. Every individual business and every person and their operation is going to have its own unique problems as it moves through different levels of revenue. And yeah, I think for us, Joe, that's been the most consistent thing through everything that we've done. It's been to just deal with all these problems that come up, you move past them, and now you're better for it because you know what it takes to go, okay, you run into this issue, you do this, you do this, you do this. And now you're really, there was a point where I think we used to be a lot more fazed by issues that would come up and treat it as like a sign to not do something. But now it's like, that is a sign that you should do something, because if you're doing something right, problems are going to pop up no matter what.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I get a little phased sometimes with stuff like this. I think phased is the wrong word. I actually get more like annoyed and think like, oh man, like why would I bother with this when I can say screw this, let's go do something else. You know what I'm saying? Because I think just where we're at now, we have like too many things going on, and if you do this for long enough, you'll start to reach a point where every 6 months, every year, you just realize you need to like get rid of some of the things you're working on. And I feel like we're at that point right now. We have some things we really want to accelerate, and in order to do that, some things we need to decelerate or stop. So, yeah, that's the.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree, and that's kind of a nuanced way to look at what I was saying. I was more talking about how, say, like in the beginning, when we were just doing dropshipping, like a customer would get something damaged, right? And it would be like, oh my God. And
Yeah.
It's just us two. And we're like, what do we do? Should we keep doing this?
Yeah.
But in the end, you move past those issues. Now it's like, you're not even really the ones dealing with them. So it's not as emotionally taxing. Or even like with the SEO journey, how we ran into 500 issues, one after the other, and every time you push through, you learn something new. So yeah, you're right. Now we're at the point where it's like we have to consider, all right, is it actually worth pushing through this because we have this right here that's like a lot easier and we can make more per hour from it. So yeah, but I was just saying it's not just like just because you run into a problem, especially with drop shipping, doesn't mean like you should quit and just go back to your job, whatever. It's this is like the whole part of online business is pushing through whatever problems for whatever it is that you want.
Yeah. All right. So this ties into what we just are talking about, but number 8 is don't overthink starting. Address problems as they come. Now, you're not going to open up a business book and it's not going to say, hey, when you reach $100,000 in revenue per month, you're going to have this problem. That just doesn't happen. The business book is not going to know the problems that you're going to have once you start. And I think you already kind of summed this point up with that Grant Cardone thing where you need to just be making so many sales that you have new problems. So yeah, I don't know if there's much more to say about this point other than in the few coaching calls I've done recently. I mean, I have a lot of people just asking a lot of questions about situations before they even start that like they may never have to deal with, like, or it's just so far beyond. That's a pet peeve.
Pet peeve of mine for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm starting to become. That's not a pet peeve because I'm starting to. I understand. I think that's why I take most of those beginner calls because I can understand at the same time where they're coming from, and I think I've summed it up and having dealt with enough people that have the same problem. I think I know like what they're gonna say already and what I need to say to make them get out of their own head.
Yeah, because in the end, that's all it is.
Yeah.
That's part of why mindset is important, I think, because if you have, a really a goal that you really find important and you're not motivated, but you're set in stone that you're gonna do it, then you find yourself not having these overthinking problems.
Yeah, it's interesting. Your friend that we had on the podcast like a few months ago at this point, the one that was in what is he in? I forgot the thing he's into. Well, it was a Kindle related podcast. Oh, I forgot his name. Vander Schloke? Mark?
Oh, Mark, yeah.
Yeah. So if you let's go back and listen to that that one was all about mindset, and it just got me when you were saying that, it got me thinking that people that come to us and have a lot of questions before they start, like it made me wonder, do they actually have these questions or something in their subconscious like bringing up these questions to actually stop them from starting?
Yeah, exactly. That's the way to put it. Leave it at that.
Yeah. So number 9, this is going to be the final point because we went a little bit out of order here, but
leave it to us to do an ordered list and wind up doing it not in order.
So number 9 is know your long-term financial goals for dropshipping. And this is very important because if you don't know where you're going, then you don't know how to get there. So if your goal is to become financially independent, retire early, you're going to have to do certain, like I would say, get to that $1 million mark, sell your store, pay off your house. You'd have to know like your monthly expenses and what it's going to cost you to live. So we don't have to get into too many details here, but be sure to do those back calculations.
Yeah, but I do think the important thing is that goals can and should change. Because Joe, 4 years ago, I don't think I could have made what we're doing now a goal. Because there's so many things we do that weren't even in what I thought was possible. And yeah, I mean, like a lot of times, from my experience, when you set a goal, it's most important because it gives you a number to drive to. And especially if you give yourself like a time limit, you say, in 6 months I will be earning X amount. That kind of forces you to take action in a particular way, and you'll find that instead of hitting that number in 6 months that you thought was unattainable, you actually get there in 4 months.
Yeah.
And so now you can make new goals. So, yeah, my point is that goals can always be changed, they could always be upped, but I do find it useful to set a higher bar every time I hit a goal, just to kind of keep myself working towards something.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So that's about it for the 10 tips. Hope you guys found them useful. Don't forget, you can check out our free class, buildassetsonline.com/playbook. Yeah, we've talked about it numerous times, how to go from a $0 to $1 million portfolio in very quickly. That's what the class is about. I don't know how well, I forgot the catchphrase of it.
What is the catchphrase? Oopsie doopsie?
No, it was like how to go from.
Screwed up.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the problem is you're not close enough to it.
I know. I'm working on a new setup and decided to do the podcast from the iMac today instead of the regular MacBook Air. I figured that would make things more clear, but
Well, your video
it
looks
didn't
good.
work,
Your
so-
video actually looks really good, like in terms of there's no jumpiness or anything like that. But it's just that mic
Yeah.
only really picks it because I got the same one. It only really picks up
Yeah.
sound like directly in front of it. So hopefully our boy Josh can edit that for the actual podcast. Maybe make you a little louder. Maybe I could do it on YouTube as well after the fact. But didn't really see too many complaints in the chat about it. So hopefully it's all right. I don't know. You sound kind of low to me. Kevin.
Yeah, guys, if you're listening, I'm sorry, and Josh, I'm sorry as well.
Kevin says Joe sounds a lot louder than Mike. But anyway, so we'll
That
take.
was in the beginning.
Yeah. So we'll take some questions now. 38 minutes. We'll see if we can go to the hour mark. But let's read some of the chats. Last 7546, literally such a small percentage of ordinary drop shipping stores contact the brands themselves and make deals to sell their products. I'm happy to be in this niche. Zero Wayward says, I turn the volume up when he speaks. He's clear for me then. Ooh, that's not good.
I got people on the control boards, toggling up and down.
Last says, don't forget other assets, not just cash in the business. I guess it depends where you're at. My long-term aim is to build a business into a PLC. Always been my dream. What is it? PLC?
Label conspiracy?
Yeah, maybe.
Who said that?
The last 7546.
Oh. I don't know.
Yeah. Last 7546 is talking about privacy. I was considering stopping using WhatsApp, and then I started getting ads on YouTube from WhatsApp about talking about how great their privacy is. Yeah, I don't like
They
you.
used to be private. Then they got bought by Facebook, so
Yeah. I don't like.
moved to like Telegram or something.
Yeah, I'm not down with anything that that Facebook does.
We're live on Facebook.
I just feel whatever. I just feel like Facebook doesn't have like a good purpose. Like I feel like YouTube has a purpose where like you can search like, how do I fix my faucet? You know, whereas Facebook is just there to draw you in, and certainly YouTube can draw you in as well. But there's so much educational content that YouTube can offer.
Yeah, at least YouTube is grounded in like utility, and you can actually just search for whatever you're looking for, whether that is utility or entertainment. But Facebook is just them shoving whatever they want in your face. So yeah, it has no purpose.
Last 7546 says I currently work on my business for around 110 hours a week, and it's not all e-commerce. Only around 50% of it is e-commerce. It's really stressful. It's really stressful, and I don't talk to practically anyone except for when I'm at school. But I don't really know much about you, but I feel like that's not a sustainable way to do things.
Yeah, how many hours per day is that? It's more than it's like more than 15 hours every single day.
Yeah, when do you sleep?
Why don't you? Yeah, like how about um, just give yourself some more time. Like what could you be doing that takes that much time? Personally, honestly, I've heard other people say this too, but I think some of the biggest breakthroughs I've had in business have come from when I've been like on vacation and just not thinking about anything for like a week or two, and then when I come back or even while I'm there, um, you're just bound to get more insights because you need to you need to give yourself time for your subconscious to actually digest stuff that you're doing, especially if you're like not doing 110 hours a week of grunt work, but if you're actually working to like create new ideas and think about concepts and stuff, um, it's like working out, man. You need time to rest and recover and let ideas process in the subconscious.
Yeah, and not only do you need to recover, but you need time for the tasks you did to get out
Bear fruit.
into the ether and see what happens with them, so you know like what you should be doing more of and what you should be doing less of.
Yeah. So I don't
Um,
know, man. Take a nap.
Sean the Dawn says you guys should be posting more. I got my first supplier. We're starting again, but and congrats. I mean, I think next week we'll be posting. We'll probably get back on the twice per week schedule, maybe even a little bit more. Um, we're just working on like something else. So, but we're almost done with that.
Yeah, we've been working. We're still working. Not 110 hours a week, but we've been doing things for you guys.
So Lass has a personal question for both of us. I know you're both brothers, so which one of you started e-commerce first? I have a little brother and want to get him into it with me, haha, but I don't know how. Well, I started I started selling on Amazon first, and then but we didn't start. We started dropshipping together, basically. So,
Correct.
what freight broker do you recommend? Aaron Jerez asks.
Um, I recommend checking out Global Trans or finding somebody that's like a affiliate for Global Trans. A lot of the times, people that we've worked with, or I guess companies that we worked with, were just like kind of independent people that had contracts with Global Trans, and so you would be in like the back end. Global Trans I think is like kind of like the Shopify of freight brokerage, in that you can kind of set up your own account and yeah, just search Global Trans and see where that takes you, and see if you can find just like a regular person that has a freight brokerage business. So, that'd be my advice. But we don't really do that much anymore. We don't really ship our own freight.
Oh man, we got a spam comment. Well, before I read that, Last says he's read about how important the subconscious is. I guess I need more me time. Yeah, man. I mean,
I mean, if you're doing 50 hours a week of ecom, like, are you making sales? Because if you're not making sales, then I really don't know what you're doing. Because it doesn't take, I don't know. I don't know what you can be doing on ecom that takes 50 hours a week.
yeah. I think I'm just gonna ban the spam comment because it wouldn't even be like that funny.
Well, hashtag automate Jarvie with Adi.
Yeah, we
So,
gave you your.
you got your promo.
I'm gonna report this for hate speech.
Yeah, do it. I take it as a microaggression.
Me too.
Yeah. I also dropped a little screw under my seat right now. So people watching this are seeing me like fidget because I lost this friggin' screw. Now I don't know where it is.
They know what
But
you're really doing.
yeah. I'll figure it out after this.
Yeah. All right. So we got no more questions. We don't need to drag it
We
on.
got no more answers.
So I guess that's it for us guys. Check out the. Oh wait, left one more thing. I only just
Yeah, whenever you
started.
say that, people just start freaking flooding in the questions.
Yeah, I only just started the 110. Oh boy. Okay. Chats are coming in. I only just started investing the 110 hours like this month, but I've spent most of it just finding and calling suppliers. I've called like 150 plus businesses all in the USA, which is the worst thing because I'm based in the UK, so there's many issues with taxing and licenses, etc. I don't know why people make that mistake. Just work in the country that you're in.
Are you saying you want to ship stuff to the UK, or are you trying to start a US store? But neither one of those things is what you should do. If you're from the UK, just make a UK dropshipping store. People from the UK right now, if you're listening to this and you're making a store that's not in the UK, you are throwing pounds
Yeah.
out the window. The UK is hot right now. And honestly, it's a joke. I say this so many times. I look at our partner store in the UK, I look at the ad account, and I laugh at the types of conversions we're getting.
Yeah.
So if you're not making a store in the UK right now and you have that ability, do it.
Bloody do it, mate. Bloody do it. Wait, that's more Australian.
Australia would be to say the C word.
Yeah. I don't think it'll get blurted out because you can't even hear what they're saying. Like, you can't even, whatever. I'm not going to say it.
I'm not going to do it.
When I get an order, do I try getting a freight quote first or send order to the supplier and then wait on the quote? I'm going live with my store this week.
Do you know that they don't have their own freight account that you can ship on? But yeah, I mean, usually the way that it works is you send the order to the supplier. The supplier will send you back, I guess, kind of an invoice or something that will have the details of the shipment, because you need to relay that to the freight broker, because the freight broker doesn't care about what the item is necessarily. They care about the actual shipment dimensions, how many pallets it's going to need, the weight of it. That way they can get their quote and, you know, where it's coming from, where it's going. So yeah, usually sending it to the supplier will be the first step in that. Unless, of course, there's exceptions if, you know, you already kind of have that info from a previous sale and you're just trying to figure out, like, if it's going to be profitable, if it's not. So really it depends on the supplier. I would do the first thing I said. I would try that out and then kind of refine your process from there. Because there's been times where when we were doing this more, like, we would need to fit suppliers into our process. And we say, hey, this is how we want to do it. We want to send you the order. You send us back all the shipping details. That way we can get the quote, and then we send you the packing slip, and then the supplier will, once they get a packing slip, they will call the freight company and they'll schedule the pickup. So that's how it works in a nutshell, and to try and kind of fit it around that framework if you can.
Maurice, Zero Wayward. Which credit cards do you use for your business? I know this is just personal and not actual advice. Oh, well, that's not really tax stuff, or if that's what you're saying, but Capital One, Spark, and Chase Inc. Maurice Charles, which is better, S Pocket or Shopify? I mean, both of those serve totally different purposes, but we don't recommend using S Pocket at all. Just contact the suppliers yourselves. Ashton Mose, I know business takes time, but I'm thinking about taking your course. What are your guys' advice? I also emailed you all, but got an automated response. You all made a mention 2 weeks ago for your course. We can be profitable. Oh, you all made mention in about 2 weeks you can be profitable with your methods. Do you stand by that statement, especially with someone who is hungry to make profit? Well, I didn't see your email, and we don't have an automated response up, so I don't know if you actually emailed us. But can you make money in 2 weeks? Yeah. Are we going to stand by it and guarantee it? No. We made money in 2 weeks when we started and we had no idea what we were doing. So just because you're hungry doesn't mean you're going to actually like do the stuff every day. But
Yeah,
you can.
especially once the dopamine goes away when you got to actually start doing uncomfortable stuff. I don't know if you're gonna be like this or not, but a lot of times people aren't successful because they think they want to do something, and then they go into it, and then again the high from the situation goes away, and they slow down and they slow down and they slow down until their action is non-existent. So yeah, I mean you can make money in 1 week. It just depends on you.
Yeah. Our course.
Yeah, when you're inside. When you're inside the elite fleet, you can talk with other people as well and see what their progress has been. But
Yeah, I mean, I think our course is going to give you the best chance at it. But yeah, like Mike said, the ball is in your court. And even so, like I said, the first tip, you got to make sure you're taking a long-term approach, like long-term outlook on this, like a long-term mindset. So like you can have it as a goal to make money in 2 weeks, but if you don't, like, that doesn't mean you should not do it. Like, I would not care, like, if I make money in 2 weeks, 2 weeks in a day, or like 2 months, as long as I actually get to that point. Okay. Elvis says, "Hi guys, we're just starting our e-commerce business and your content has helped us quite a bit. Thanks for all of the content you guys provide." You're welcome. Aaron Jerez, "When I first launched Google Shopping campaign, do you recommend launching like 10 to 20 products at first, or launch all products and see what's going on with the
launch them
traffic?"
all.
Say that again.
Launch them all.
All right. Cool. So we got through all the questions, and what time are we at? We're at the 53-minute mark. Yeah, that's the, is it info? I think so. Let me search for your name. Maybe I replied to you and you thought it was like
sound automated.
Yeah, maybe I just sound automated. Oh, wait.
This is actually all in automation. But Lass has a question. How do you guys structure your products in each campaign? I was thinking a shopping campaign for each supplier, but I was thinking a shopping campaign for each supplier is smart but unsure. Well, Lass, lucky for you, we have an entire program on how exactly to structure your ads, how to do your bids, and how to ensure you have long-term success, as well as entire modules for all the problems you're going to run into and how to solve them. So you can go to buildassetsonline.com and check out our courses, and that would be your best bet, because I will tell you that a campaign for each supplier is definitely wrong. No offense to you, obviously, but that will give you a variety of headaches that I cannot go into right now. So, yeah, my best advice to give you a proper answer would be you need in-depth training on this. Google Ads is not a fly-by-night thing. You should dedicate most of your time to learning that craft, and that will pay off the most, aside from getting suppliers. So there you go. That's what I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Did you find this person's?
I found his email, and so Ashton, I mean, sorry, I was actually typing out a response on my phone, and then I realized I hate typing on my phone, and then I forgot about it. Sorry, I do that a lot, honestly. So nothing to you personally, but you basically described to me like a situation that, I mean, you said you're really strapped for cash. I would not recommend, like, based on the situation you described, I would not recommend like starting a business in that type of situation. Now it does start, or what you can do is, if you are looking to start like a business online, and this is going to take you way longer to make like the kind of money you can make from dropshipping, but I would say you just need to get your like base income up first and not like, I don't know. What I would do is I would publish free Kindle books, or I would take on some writing gigs online to get your cash flow up. You don't want to come out like, I feel like we probably lose sales this way, but you don't want to buy like our course or any course from like a position of like desperation. Not to say that you're desperate, but like you get what I'm getting at. Like I'm just don't, like, you need to get like income up first before you start a business, because stuff goes wrong in any business. It can't, like, that's like Murphy's law. So if you're thinking like, oh my God, like I'm gonna hustle, I'm gonna grow, like it's just, I don't know, just don't do it. Like just publish free Kindle books, like word searches, coloring books, things like that, stuff that costs like actual $0 to create, rather than like investing in an online course for like a lot, like, don't like risk more than you have, just, because stuff does go wrong. Like, it's a business. So what do you have to say to that, Mike?
I was gonna say that when we first started doing drop shipping, we were in a position of desperation per se, because we had lost our main sources of income, but we were not at risk of like going under over a few $1,000s. So that's the distinction, is like you don't want to be teetering near the edge of literally not being able to pay your bills and risking it all on doing a drop shipping store. Because you don't know the headaches you're going to try and run into. Maybe you pick a niche that's not so great, or maybe, you don't know ads as well as you think you do, and it's going to take you maybe not 2 weeks, maybe it takes you 3 weeks or 4 weeks. But if you can only survive for the next 2 weeks, then that's not the way to be doing things. So.
Yeah. And honestly, like, we're not trying to take your money. Like, if you like, we don't like taking people's money when it's not like appropriate for them. And based on the situation you described, like, it didn't really seem.
Yeah, like we don't need your money. We do this so that we can help people, but they need to be in the right position. So, yeah, like Joe said, I would say get your cash flow up and then just use that to fund the store and get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
Should we keep going, or you got somewhere to be?
I don't got anywhere to be. I'm kind of thirsty.
All right, go get a drink.
All right.
Okay. Do you only list products that you know will be profitable, like based off of average shipping costs across the U.S.? No, and I don't think that's a good way to go about things, because if you really listen to a lot of what Joe and I say, and I believe it was even a slide on this presentation, is that you can't think about particular outcomes before they even happen. So in this example, like, you have no idea what the average shipping cost is going to be from one place to another for every single product that you sell. The more focused mind would just focus on getting the products up, getting things advertised, and okay, you sell something and you're only going to make $10 on it because of freight, or you're going to lose money because of freight. Then you have options from there. You can call the customer, say, hey, you live in a remote spot in Montana, we actually need to charge you $100 extra shipping, or we need to cancel. Or you say, hey, if you want a lift gate, there's a fee, or maybe even you're profitable on it and you didn't think you would be, because one particular freight company has a good line, that they have a good route from this one area to another. So yeah, the most important thing is, like, don't think that you know stuff, but also there's always solutions, even if it means, again, you have to cancel that one order, but now you just up your price by $100, $200, whatever, so it doesn't happen again. So at least you'll learn something if you sell a product and you don't make money on it and you have to cancel. Nine-Tailed Dragon said, should you pick the niche name and logo before going in? Going in where, Nine-Tailed Dragon? I think you need to pick your I'd say the order would be pick the industry you're going to go into, pick your domain name, and then start your store and get a logo. Ashton, now Joe's back. Are you hydrated?
I don't know. It's not working.
What's not working? The hydration?
Yeah. I need some coconut.
Teresa bought this stuff called Liquid IV. I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
Oh,
It's
wait.
almost like-
No, wait, hold up. I actually have powdered coconut water. I might go make some of that. I had a very
Yeah, that
salty.
Liquid IV is the truth.
Yeah, I had a very salty lunch. Hold on. I'll be back.
All right, well, Joe's going to powder his water. Ashton said, "Thank you, Joe and Mike. You guys are real. And in the course, how available are you guys in the course to answer questions and to be there, to lean on, so to speak? And how often do you guys go live? I'd like the interaction with you guys. Very beneficial. Inside the course, well, inside the membership, I mean, you have one-on-one access to us, to talk to us basically every day. So, yeah." Last said use the PEMDAS method. Yes, that was a video. How many products do you have in a store before you guys go live? There's no one good answer to this, because I mean, you can have a supplier that has 10 products and you can make $30,000 a month off those 10 products. But more realistically, I would say once you have like 4 suppliers, no matter how many products they have, that's kind of a good place to start. But again, the most important thing is that you get started, because you can just add more suppliers, or a supplier sucks, you cut them off. So once you kind of get to that position, it's easier to navigate than just worrying too much about that. So yeah, start with something like 3 to 4 suppliers.
Oh,
and
man.
just get the ads going. You right?
We're back.
I never left.
Not sponsored.
This is like I don't know what you call this, but it's like the more questions I answer, the more that keep coming in.
You better stop answering them.
Yeah.
Layered superfood coconut water plus Aquaman. I got this as an impulse purchase. I saw it on one of those displays and I was like, oh wow, I like coconut water. Let me try this. And it's pretty good.
Did they retarget you yet?
No. I was on a store, in a store.
I know.
Oh, no. Maybe they will now that I said it out loud. Maybe Zuckerberg got it. He got it from my phone because I can't delete my Facebook yet because we use it for Kindle ads.
Have you guys used the Shopify logo creator before, or do you usually use something else for whatever site you make for your e-commerce platform? Just pay someone on Fiverr to do it.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's probably something new. Sounds like something Shopify would, pull out of their ass.
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem with Shopify, is that they cater so much to that bootstrap market that's gonna like spend no money with them.
Honestly, I just made a logo with it, and it's not that bad. It gives you mad options, actually. I bet,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
I
I
just pull up or something.
yeah, I just typed in Shopify logo creator, and like I feel like if you went to someone on Fiverr, like they might just use this.
Well, I that's kind of the point I was getting at is, you as a person that's trying to run a whole store, it may not be in your best interest to do the logo yourself, because usually people on Fiverr have like some bit of design experience, so that they can. I don't know. Anytime I've ever seen someone design their own logo, it hasn't come out that well.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, someone on
I think
Fiverr, I
eventually.
think is the best option. I mean, yeah, once they looked good, and then as I was scrolling through them, it was like kind of I don't know, too generic, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the real galaxy brain move would be to pay like $5,000 for a logo before you start a store.
Well,
That way
actually,
you know you're getting off on the right foot.
Income School, when we were learning how to do those niche sites, Income School made us. But this was way back in the day. They recommend like paying like $99 for a logo from some like other site.
99 Designs.
Yeah, no, was it? Maybe. I don't know, but it was kind of BS. Like, there's no reason to pay that for a logo. Like, it's not going to impact how much traffic you get.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about those old Dan Da Silva courses that we used to take
There's just one
that were like
but-
garbage.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. It was just one. Like we never took multiple.
Well, yeah, but I don't know if you remember him saying this, but like, I forget what his thing was, like Ecom Dudes or something, but he literally said it. He's like, "Yeah, I spent 6 figures on a logo. It's so important."
Ha!
I think about that actually all the time.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, so that's the type of content you're getting when you buy, these Facebook ad courses.
6 figures on a logo.
Yeah.
How much would you guys charge for just one-on-one mentoring? Well, if you go to buildassetsonline.com/membership, you will see there is a mentorship option.
Yes, sir.
And yeah,
Juke Nukem. I mean, if you're good at Photoshop, then if you have design skills, that's a different story. But don't do it for the sake of bootstrapping.
yeah.
Is my point. So here we are, Joe.
Hour and 8
Another
minutes.
pile of questions. And
Hour-
this time it's done.
All right,
Don't ask any more.
let's call
We're
it
not
quits.
gonna
You guys
answer
you guys have to wait till the next time.
Yeah, you have to wait another month. Get them ready.
You know what, guys? Why don't you do this? Leave in the comments section like what topics you want to see next, because I'm out of ideas.
Yeah. I feel like we just say the same things every time.
Yeah, in a different
Make money with dropshipping. Make money with dropshipping.
same
Make money online.
same ideas, just packaged differently.
Maybe that's how. I mean, maybe that's how like the YouTube algorithm works. It's like the primitive SEO days, just keyword density.
I think people just like to see. I don't know. I don't know what people like to see. Let us know what you like to see in the comments.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right,
All right, Joe. It's time to wrap it up. Another successful
buildassetsonline.com.
stream in the books.
buildassetsonline.com/playbook. Get our free course today.
And as always,
Take it easy.